How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and I hope you've been crushing it in your trading. We've been getting a lot of volatility in the markets, so I want to make sure you guys are prepared going into the coming week. The first thing that we're going to do, we're going to be taking a look at the ES, and then we're going to be taking a look at the Nasdaq. And then afterwards, we're going to be taking a look at the economic calendar. We do have some news updates that are going to be coming out for the following week. We do have a government shutdown, so for now, things are preliminary, but you want to make sure that you are aware of it. So as we take a look at this ES chart, we are on the daily time frame, and you can kind of see I kind of went ahead on this one. I noticed that we have a trend line on the daily that we are respecting, despite the fact we did have some strong selling that occurred on Friday. So knowing that we're respecting this trend line, which is all the way from August 1st going all the way up until now, we held it. So that is something that you want to be aware of, and know that when we do zoom out and take a look at this chart, we are bullish. We are in a very strong market. So anyone that is telling you that we're bearish or the market is about to collapse does not know what they are talking about. We have to take this into consideration. Please look at the bigger picture. So I'm going to get rid of this trend line since we are aware that, hey, the market is still strong when we take a look at the daily. So I want to make sure I clean this up for you guys. And then now what we're going to do, I like to come back down to the 1 hour chart. We want to see what happened. So what we could see is that when the market was selling off in the morning on Friday, which was really aggressive, we could see that it bottomed out around 12 o'clock for the New York session time, or EST. And then when we bottomed out, all we did was completely run all the way up going into the close. So the first thing that we notice right here, and we want to keep it very simple, especially if you are new to trading and you want to get a better grasp of how you can find opportunities, we want to see where were the sellers and then where were the buyers. So what we notice right here is that ES came into an area where we do have a lot of sellers. How do we know that? How are we aware? We are aware because the last time we got into this level, we had a strong sell-off. So with that in mind, let me just bring out the trend line tool here. This is where we want to see the ES break. Whether it happens on Sunday or on Monday, we'll have to wait and see. But the key level right here is around 6,770. If price can get above 6,770, then what you want to do is look for more continuation. So you want to see the break come out of there. We come back, retest that 770 area, and then seeing if we can continue to go higher. So that is an opportunity I would keep a very close eye on, and at least if you decide to take a trade, you're able to manage your risk. Because all what you're doing, you're looking for the market to say, well, you know what, we did close on the ES at 6,765, and then we have this key area here at 6,770. You can find out a way easily to manage your risk depending on whatever style you have, and then look to see if the market does decide to break out. Another thing that you want to take into consideration as we take a look at this ES chart is this. We are rallying from a sell-off we had, but we also do confirm in the short term we do have lower highs and lower lows. So if it does end up failing in the same area where we had sellers, does that mean automatically, well, you know what, the market is going to go down? Well, the first thing that we want to take notice of is that previous day low, right? That's going to be an important area. We could easily just pull back down here to the previous day low at 6,733.5 and then decide to move back up. That would also give you like an inverse head and shoulders type of setup. As you can see, we've shown previous support here. You can see it right there on Thursday at 12 o'clock New York time. And we also saw this as well at the 23 hours. So this is around 11 o'clock on the same day, and we bounced off of it. So this will be very interesting when taking a look at the ES. And the big question is, will it be able to reverse, right, all of this downside pressure that we have seen? That is going to be the big question here. For me to be fully convinced of that, then I'd want to see price getting above the previous day high. Again, this is the Thursday high, and then price wanting to run up into the 6,900 to see if we can get some continuation. Again, make sure you're taking notes. So now what we're going to do now, we're going to take a look at the Nasdaq. So taking a look at the Nasdaq, very similar setup to the ES. What do we see here? I'm going to go on the daily time frame. And as I confirmed, the market is strong. We are bullish, still in a bull market. But then if we go down to the 4-hour time frame, you can see that for now, we have lower highs and as well as lower lows. And just like the ES, we'll go down to the 1-hour time frame. You can see we bottomed out at 12 p.m. New York session, and then we just kept running up all the way into the close. The only thing with the Nasdaq though, it has a little bit more ground that it needs to make up. So we're going to do the same thing like we did on the ES, very similar. So we want to know where is the key area that Nasdaq needs to break. So we could draw it out right here, this line, boom. Okay, what that number is, 25,400. Price needs to get above 25,400. The Nasdaq ended up closing at 25,226.75, as you can see here by the last price that was listed. So with that in mind, you want to see some momentum carry forward. So the key area is going to be 25,340, and then seeing if we do decide to get rejected at this 25,400. You can see this was an area that we were having some trouble with on Thursday, and then on Friday, especially as we got into the Globex trading, so this is around 3-4 in the morning, again, New York time, we could barely even crack above 25,335, to be exact, 25,350, as you can see from this wick here on the 1 hour, before we decided to sell off going in further into that New York session. So very key for the Nasdaq. So I would be looking, if you want to look for some long opportunities and so on, get above 25,400, you then would want it to hold. We could say, well, the 25,350 area to 25,400 could be a good way to manage risk, because then we're looking at previous resistance or an area where there were previous sellers. We want to see that become support, the bullish take over, and then see if they could push price higher, especially going into this Thursday high. Thursday high is at 25,821. But in my opinion, if we're looking at this maybe on Monday going into Tuesday, I'd want to just see us get above 25,400, make that push to 25,500, and then seeing if that momentum can carry over. That would be the setup to look for. So what if the Nasdaq decides to pull back, right? It doesn't continue to have this aggressive run that it had on Friday afternoon. So if it doesn't decide to be aggressive, you want to look for a pullback area. Where could there be a potential pullback area? So you could see, very similar to the ES, we're just above the previous day low here, and we did have buyers that were stepping in here on Thursday. But if this level ends up giving up, Nasdaq could be very wicky, very volatile, moving a bunch of different directions before it decides what it wants to do. So the level that I'll be watching would be like right here. Bam. What is that? 25,076. Because when I look at an area like this, like I said in the beginning, when we look at this overall market, yes, it is in a short-term downtrend of lower highs and lower lows. What we saw on the daily, it was strong. So if it wants to pull back, I feel like this 25,000 level would be a very crucial level that needs to hold. If 25,000 doesn't hold, then I could see us wanting to come back down near those Friday lows and even potentially deciding to take it out. And of course, that's where you could find some really good opportunities. So as we take a look at the economic calendar, we could see for Monday, we have some bill auction. So it's pretty light as far as news is concerned. We do have Fed Bar that's going to be speaking on Tuesday. We do have an ADP employment change weekly number coming out at 9:15 a.m. On Wednesday, we do have 30-year mortgage rates, so something to watch out for inside of the pre-market session. But we do have a good amount of Fed speakers. So at 10:20 a.m., we got Fed Williams, Fed Paulson, Fed Waller. We also have Fed Bostic, and they're just doing this back to back. So that is something you want to be aware of if you are going to be trading on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, that's where we're supposed to be having our CPI release. Whether CPI gets released or not, again, not too sure considering we are in a government shutdown. There could be a delay, but if they do decide to put it out there, then make sure you're prepared. And personally, I don't really like trading the CPI number until after release or just before. I never like to be in a trade while that release is about to come out, okay? And then on Thursday, we also have the initial jobless claims. Again, you guys don't really see any times because, again, they don't really know. There's no guarantee this is going to be released. And then on Friday, we're supposed to be having the PPI. Again, whether that's going to come out, retail sales, and so on, just something that you want to be aware of for the economic calendar. Write it down somewhere so you're not caught off by surprise, or you end up being in like a prop account and you get blown out wondering, hey, what just happened, right? So I hope you guys found this video helpful. Good luck on your trading for this coming week. And let me know if you guys want me to do some more videos talking about the strategies that I use inside of the markets. I have no issues sharing that with you, but I wanted to do this high level overview so you're aware and know what's happening and know what the market structure and know what the conditions look like. Good luck on your trading again, and I'll be talking to you guys real soon.